Rightio, back to the engine build. Bit of a catch up here. I've gone ahead, it was all just straight, no fancy turning involved. So I didn't have any bronze for the main bearings, so I've gone with brass, considering the amount of time it's going to be ran. If it does give grief later on, I can always make a set of bronze bushes later on. But I had brass on hand. So I've made the brass bushes. This is a piece of shaft that I machined down for the conrod. Machined and polished down. The spark plugs arrived. I didn't ever thought they made them this small, but ain't it dainty? It's tiny. There's a normal size one. So that's arrived, which is a great thing. Now on the plans, if I can find them, on the plans for the end of the crankshaft where the conrod connects to, this one here is only square, like a rectangle shape. Now, bit of Google searching, bit of forum reading, and a fella's actually redesigned it with a weight. So there it is there. He was kind enough to share the dimensions, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So what I've done is machined up a disc that's got a hole in the centre, reamed hole, 313 thou to match this pin. It's got a 31 thou shoulder on the back. So when it hits up against here, obviously, steps off. It's 625 thou centres. There's got to be a 1/4 inch pin going here, and shaped obviously. Now I've made up a set of dies, filing dies, that I can file this end to suit. Once I've machined this off, drilled the hole and machined these two outer flanks off. And I didn't show turning this because it's just plain turning, and it's just going to make the videos 50 times longer than what it's meant to be. So I hope you don't mind. But anyway, what it is what it is. So I'll go to the mill drill, we'll drill this hole, drill and ream this hole for the pin, and then go to the Cincinnati, and I'll machine these two pieces off here. Then it can be Loctited to this shaft, and Bob's your uncle, supposedly. So then we'll have a crankshaft in place. Now I'm still trying to source some cast iron to make the cylinder. Finding it very hard to find at the moment. Pain in the ass. So I'd rather make it out of cast iron. Be a bit easier than trying to I actually made a dummy one already. Boring bar let me down, so I've ordered a new boring bar. But that's going to fit in there like that. But I actually stuffed up a couple of times on this one. Oh, it's a good fit. Stuffed up the grooves, but never mind. And this, yeah, the internal bore's pretty shit. So that's a put on the shit shelf. Anyway, we'll go and get this one done. And that's another component finished. slow this mill down now, change belts around, and I'll ream that out to 1/4 of an inch. Okay, over to the Cincinnati, and we'll knock these off now. I realise this is pretty hard to see over here, but what I've done is I stuck a parallel there. I don't know whether you can pick up them scribe lines or not, but simply just line the scribe line up, mill it down to that line, turn it around, and do the same again. So that's what we're going to do. Not really. I changed out to a 3 flute end mill. Not overly impressed with the finish, so I'll just have to polish that by hand. Anyway, I'll flip this over now and do the other side. That's that. Give that end to clean up now and show you over the bench. off camera. I didn't bother filming it because it's that bloody tiny, it's hard to film. But this pin is where the conrod connects to. That's going to be Loctited in place. It's got an M3 hole, or M3 tapped hole there. It'll have a 1mm cross hole drilled in it at a later date, and an oil little grease cup will go on the end there. So that's going to be Loctited in. On the end, we get yourself a crankshaft. Righto, it's time to Loctite these together. Spins nice. I can't pick up any play or anything in it. So as far as hitting the numbers, I think I'm getting pretty good. So like I'm hitting them okay. Just like I do apologise for not recording every bit of the build, but some of these parts, like machining this down was just straight turning. Machining this little duvalacky here, like it's that small, it's hard to film. Yeah, and it's just straight turning, it's nothing special. So I hope you don't mind. If you do, please let me know in the comments and I'll try a bit harder, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, from what I can work out, like everyone, it's going to get pretty boring if you're saying just normal turning day in, day out sort of thing. So I'm pretty stoked with the way that looks. I'm really happy with that. I was kindly donated some cast iron for the cylinder. So that's what we're going to make next. So 2.5 inches long. It's got some cooling fins. It's got a 0.875 bore through it. That's got to be really smooth because I'm running Viton O-rings. That's going to be a bit of a challenge to get that nice and smooth. The 4-hole pattern to actually tie it into the, or bolt it up to the crankshaft head frame, or the cylinder head frame. Just going to transfer them through with a drill from this side, so that's going to be easy enough. It's got a little intake port here. It's going to be on a bit of an angle. Goes in through the side here. That's easy enough to do. So pretty much it's just straight turning and boring. I've ground up a form tool to put these slots in. So hopefully I can get them pretty much all even and looking nice. But we'll wait and see about that. So my plan is here is to turn this shoulder here, this section here, then hold it in the chuck on that end, and then do the rest of the turning so the bore is concentric with where it bolts into the housing, into the actual mount. So that's the plan. Whether it works or not, well, we have to find out. We'll have a go anyway, see what goes on. But I haven't really turned cast iron before, so this is going to be a new one for me. I know it's messy shit, but yeah, we'll give it a go. Let's go and build a mess. Just a little side note, I've been using this Way Clear 2 oil from Crankshaft off Live Tools, and I've been using it in the Cincinnati, this lathe, the mill drill, shaper, and I'll tell you what, it's absolutely good stuff. Like, I'm not getting paid to say this or anything, I'm just giving you a bit of a heads up that it's good oil. Yesterday, I haven't used a shaper for quite some time. Yesterday I fired it up, just gave it a run, when I ran the ram forward, there was still oil sitting in the ways. You know, it hadn't all ran off and disappeared. So it's actually got a very good tack to it. It just sticks. It doesn't seem to run off after, you know, I haven't used the shaper for over a month. It doesn't seem to run off, which is a good thing. So if you're interested in some whey oil, go and see Live Tools. The hang strip is way clear too. It's good stuff. I like it. I'll be definitely buying another drum of it. That's the stuff there. Way clear too. Really good stuff. Made in the US. So grab yourself some. So the first part is just face this off. Then I'm going to machine down to 1 inch 125, 800th thou in from the end. The thou up, close enough. It's only cosmetic this end, so I need to go another 10 thou, I believe. Eight, 10, spot on. Shit hot. Okay, now what I've got to do is turn this around and hold it from this end. Taking in mind I've got to leave enough room to be able to get it in close enough to do all the fins. Something I've got to keep in mind. Okay, I've just machined that to length. I'm just going to get the slag off the outside here, hard shit, and then bring it down to 1.5 inches. Now I've got that hard, there's a bit of shit there. Now I've got that hard crap off, I might go back to a high speed steel and try and get a better finish. So we're 1.5 thou up. Might leave it like that for a minute, and I've got to come in here 1/2 inch from this face, back 1/2 inch down to 1 inch. It's at 11:38. 39. But I'm going to pull up there because I've got to take the missus to the doctor's. And then I've got to go and buy the young fella a new pair of shoes. So we'll come back to this after, in about, I'd say 4 hours. Maybe 5, knowing the wife, probably 7. Don't tell her I said that, I'll get my ass kicked. Well, I'm finally back, which only took 4.5 hours. Don't do it very well. So it'll be 21 and a half up. Righto, I'll bring you up to speed a bit. Camera went flat. All I done was polish this down. Polish that till I got a good firm fit. That goes up nice and snug. So what I'll do now is try and get that off. I'm going to put the bore in there now. So I'll just center drill it out, and then I'll bring you back when I'm boring it. I bought myself a new boring bar, 16mm boring bar, just an eBay find, nothing spectacular. So I've got about 125 thou to come out of this. So we're going to end up at 875, we're at 835. Starting to sprinkle rain again, the bastard. Rained all day yesterday. Oh shit. Half thou over. Oops. Feels the same all the way. Oh, I just have to try and polish it up where it is. I don't think half there is going to hurt too much, to be honest with you. I know I've got to come up with a way to polish that now. Got no freaking idea how to do it, but anyway, we'll come up with something. I don't know how good this is going to work. What I've done, I've got a piece of rod in the drill chuck and brand new piece of Scotch-Brite. Wrapped it around real tight and jammed it in there. You got to hold it here, stop it spinning, but bloody smooth. Give you a look. I think I might just bloody well leave that as it is, you know. I bought a wheel cylinder home. It says on the box when I ordered the whole lot, it said to go down to 13mm, 3/4 of an inch. You know, drama. It don't fit. Simple. It's too big, so I can't hone it. And I'll be running Viton O-rings instead of cast iron rings. And I reckon that'll be good enough myself. So what I've got here is a radius tool that I've ground up. It's about 95 thou across the widest area there, with the radius in there, obviously on the end. So it's got to have a quarter of a thou here. That actually gets 4 bolt holes threaded in it, and then 5 grooves, which will give you 5 fins, obviously. So I found where I am in space here, and I've got to go in 187 thou, 188 thou from touch off, and just keep, you know, working my way down. That'll come obvious in a minute. That's 100 thou. 188. Nice. That actually worked out way better than what I thought. I just have to get a bit of emery on there now and polish them fins up. They actually look pretty even. I was a bit worried about this last one here not being quite right, but it actually turned out pretty good. As for the 250 thou here, $252, $251. I'm not complaining about that. That was just a bit of arse, I think, more than anything else. Anyway, I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then we can put the 4 mounting holes. There'll be M3 holes in the end here. Okay, so this is what we ended up with off the lathe. It's not a bad looking ball. That Scotch-Brite actually worked better than what I thought. So it's not a bad fit. Don't come off. So what I do now is I use this as a template to just to put a mark where all the holes are. Set this up in the vise, drill them a tap into 3mm M3. Then I've got to come in with a, what is it, with an end mill, I forget the size, and got to go through the side of the car, the cylinder, through this hole. And once that's done, the hole will be in offset there, obviously, offsetter. Then I've got to mill that out, mill that piece out. So a little bit of fiddling around, bit of fiddle farting around, but that's a good fit. I'm really happy with the way them grooves turned out. They worked out way better than what I thought. That's how it'll look on the engine. Right, I'm getting a bit shagged for room on this table. I've got the vise set over to one side and I've got the rotary table set up on the other side, because probably next I'll be doing the the con rod's coming up very soon, so yeah, I've been having to fiddle around with the rotary table. Now this is probably going to be the complete wrong way of doing this, but I'm just lining them up by eye and just drilling, tapping, move around, line it up by eye. Like, it locates quite well in this, in the cylinder, or in the upright. I don't think I'll have any dramas. That's one done. So what's got to happen now is, this side is where the intake manifold goes on with the valves in it. I've got to open this hole up into the cylinder, so go through the cast iron. So I'll mount this up in the mill, line it up with the cutter, go straight down, take this out off this mounting bracket and align it the best I can with the cutter, and then you'll see what I mean. I've got to mill that into a slot. So this is probably another complete wrong way of doing it, but we're going to do it this way. So this drill, it's a 3/16 brand new drill bit. It's actually pretty loose in that collet, just sort of grabbing. So I can go down in that hole. So if it was touching on the side or anywhere, it'd bite, push up, but that's not. So to me, that's lined up good enough. So I've just got to get a 3/16 cutter now and go through that hole. That went way better than what I thought. So what I've done, I've got it sitting on a parallel, which is just sort of grazing there at the moment. I've got these holes here, these two top holes sitting level, and you see that just goes straight through. So what I'm going to do is just very carefully mill that out. just like that. And it looks like there's very, very little to deburr in there too. And there we go. All this needs now is a hole at the very end here, which has a says here 1032 threaded hole. That's for a oil cup at a later date, which I'm not going to worry about at the moment because I haven't decided whether I'm just going to put little, like, I don't know what sort of oil to put on it yet. I just don't know what to do yet. Anyway, as far as that bit goes, that's Dunsky. That can be bolted up again now. And I'm pretty stoked by the way that's actually turned out, to be honest. Way, way better than what I thought. Next will probably be either the piston conrod or the flywheel. I haven't decided yet. Conrod's going to take a bit of doing. Never made anything like that, so just wait and see.